Hey guys, welcome to the live. It's 111. How beautiful. So I apologize. I am extraordinarily late. But welcome to the live. I'm doing Jessica Cruz. We're doing a fireside chat tonight because we had a blizzard today, so I wasn't able to go out and source actual comic books for today. And I didn't bring any of my Green Lantern comics with me to Winnipeg from Toronto, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to go off the top of my head when it comes to tonight's story time. So, hey, Pokey. Oh, I'm in a new spot. Let me just see. I can do like a full body thing right now. Have it like, kind of. Let me go friends again. Hi. Oh, my ears are burning. I wasn't going to go live, but I managed to make it. So, welcome you guys to the live stream. I'm in my little fireplace now because it's really cold in the basement. So I wanted to have the fire on for a little bit at least. Hopefully it's not too abrasive. So I don't have. Hello everybody. I'm Jessica Cruz, your favorite I am missing the Green Lantern ring, but I have other things to show you guys in terms of green power. I didn't want to bring my Green Lantern ring. I didn't want to bring my Green Lantern ring with me on the plane. Anytime I travel, I don't want to bring. I do have one. I have one that I made. My last video as Jessica, I unveiled my Green Lantern ring. So I do have one. It's just not with me at the moment. But I will tell you a few Green Lantern tales. Hi, good vibes, gamer. Yes. Yes. Before we begin the live, my friends, shall we begin with the oath? All right, guys. In brightest day, in blackest night, let no evil escape my sight, and let all those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. All right, guys, welcome to the live. Keaton, thanks for reposting. Oh, yeah. I have very little time left to put together my cosplay calendar, but you guys, I've been doing just a lot of family stuff lately, like a lot of, I know, right? I finally really know it. And once you really know it, you can actually recite from the heart. Oh, Flo Panda. Hi. I love pandas. I call myself a panda because I'm black, white, and Asian. Me and my sister, we used to love to go to raves and dress up as pandas, but I don't think most people got the joke. And thank you for the gifts. Okay, so I don't have a comic book to read you guys tonight. However, I am going to talk to you guys a bit about the Green Lantern lore. I was supposed to go live with Guy Gardner tonight, but he messaged me and was like, look, Jessica, you're too late. I'm like, damn it, I'm sorry, Guy. I'm sorry. So I played D&D tonight as well, which also threw me off. So I'm in Central Time Zone. I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba. We had a big blizzard today. And it was crazy. I trekked my ass all the way out to the gym, and they were fucking closed, like a snow day. I'm like, what kind of Winnipeggers are you? I remember going clubbing on nights where it was completely obscene. And you can see my little, hold on, let me go this way. What's a guy? So we're gonna talk about what's D&D. Oh my gosh, I have so much to go over. Oh hey, Zero Wolf Luke. That was a lovely gift, and the wolf in there. It's a safety issue. Yes, that's true, Pokey. Fair enough. But I have memories of going out clubbing in minus 40 degrees with the wind chill, and no one wants to pay for coat check, so you're in a tiny little skirt. So I don't know, Winnipeg girls were built different, but I went, let me tell you guys a quick story, and then we're going to go into some Green Lantern lore. I recited the oath. We'll do, minus 40. The first time I brought my husband to Winnipeg, it was supposed to be cold as the moon or something like that, and he's like, what is this nonsense? I'm like, well, you know, it's the climate that I was born in, right? So it's kind of like, oh, a Santa hat. Oh yeah. Okay, so I have my little cup tonight. So we're gonna share some tales from the Green Lantern Corps. I'm gonna have to go off the top of my head because I wasn't able to go out and get comic books because I'm in my hometown of Winnipeg, Manitoba, and oh my gosh, I want to make sure that I make and Poro Bonachano. Oh my gosh, Bora Ciao. I want to say that name with that extra. Thanks for the heart, Mia. Welcome to the club. Let me just get myself comfortable. I keep like moving around. Okay. So what did I want to talk to you guys tonight? I'm going to bring this a little closer. Let's get personal. I might have to shut. Oh, wow. That's very sweet to do that. You guys. Okay, I'm going to shut off the heat for just a moment because it's very noisy, but I'm warm enough. I'm always cold. I'm one of those people who's always freezing cold. I would rather be extra. How about you guys? Would you rather be boiling hot or freezing cold? Some people say they prefer freezing cold because you can always put on a jacket or a sweater and you can't actually remove your skin, I guess, but I would rather just be boiling hot. I'm fine with it. So, Puro Boracharo, thank you for those gifts. I appreciate it ever so much. So, I am Jessica Cruz. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her character. Many of you guys are, which has been a lovely surprise. I'm always, I don't know why I'm surprised, but I'm always surprised when people love a lot of these characters that seem like side characters or, supporting cast characters. Let's put it that way, right? And even I wanted to show you guys a bit of my not comic book stash, but more about this DVDs today because I want to talk a little bit about lore. And I keep on calling it the electromagnetic spectrum, but it's the in the lore of DC, where the Green Lanterns get their power from is the the emotional. I keep on adding magnetic there, but that's not right. I need to find out exactly what they call it. But there's a spectrum of colors which are associated with emotions, and each of the lanterns, not just green, derive their power from that spectrum. So you have not just Green Lanterns, you have, wow, I achieved my goal almost already. Oh my gosh, you guys are the best. Appreciate it. That crown was bomb. Galactica. What a great name. What a perfect name for today. So, oh my gosh, where did I put it? Oh, I did. I still have it. Okay. I have a surprise for you guys. I'm not going to reveal it just yet. I'm sure all of you nerds out there will appreciate it. I love nerds. Your foot is in the way. The peg gets cold, Dorito Duster. No one goes out when it's minus 40. Come on, the stop, minus 25. Yeah, you're waiting for the bus. And it's minus like 40 degrees. You're frozen. I did help my dad shuffle the driveway this morning. And he looked at my gloves because I had these fancy like leather gloves that were like, they're cute gloves, right? He's like, those gloves, your fingers are going to freeze. I'm like, nah, they'll be fine. But I'm not going to lie, they did get cold. So, well, that was a long time ago, Dorito Duster. That was like Rachel of 2003. Rachel 2025 can't handle it anymore. But you know what? Like, that's what I mean. Like, back in the day, all of us were broke going up clubbing, right? So no one had the $2 for coat check, as well as no one wanted to, like once you get into the club, then you have to wait in another line to check your coats. I don't need that noise. We're like, just leave the coats in the car and then we'll get it later. And then as you're freezing in the line, you're like, this is awful. But that's not what I'm going to actually talk about tonight. Jason, dude, do I fuck with Flash? I love Flash, Jason. I do love Flash a lot. There's not a female Flash, but Dandy Money Man, thank you. Oh, that was really cool looking. You guys have been so sweet lately. I really appreciate it. And Leroy, see, thank you for the rose. All of you guys have been, you're right. It's called the emotional. There we go. Thank you, Brandon. It's called the emotional electromagnetic spectrum. Is it actually called electromagnetic? Interesting. There's a tell in that, I think, in actual reality, but we'll get into that in just a second. Thanks for following, Joshua. Sir, you have a girlfriend. Yes, and I hope, I don't know who you're talking to. You mean me? I do have many girlfriends. The forest elf. Oh, Dandy Money Man, I so feel that. I don't totally feel that I'm an elf. I don't go clubbing and never have, so I can't relate. Pokey, you can come clubbing with me and my girlfriends in Winnipeg. I have this big plan here in Winnipeg, you guys. So there are many reasons why I'm late tonight. One of them being I'm really bad with time generally. If you talk to my sister, she's like, oh my gosh, Rachel's so slow. I am a Taurus, right? So I tend to just take my time doing things. So my monocle, like my type of cosplay is usually makeup. I love makeup transformation. So you can do a lot with makeup because it's basically like your face is the canvas and you draw, right? And you can create dimension, you can have a whole new look with makeup. So I like to tell girls, like, you don't need to get filler, or maybe you can, I'm not going to judge it, but maybe just try different makeup techniques first and play with things a bit before maybe committing to something quite so permanent, right? It's a weird thing, I think, sometimes. Jessica Quick, it's a mouthful. Gonzalo, thank you for the follow. Kiss me. I'll give an older gal a watch. Yeah, I'm an older gal. I'm no spring chicken, and I'm okay with that. I do have a lot of girlfriends of mine. I have girlfriends of all ages, but I do have girlfriends of mine in their early 20s who, it's really, I think, tough these days to date. It was already hard. It was already hard growing up back in the day, but because of like social media, because of this idea of we have all this connectivity but very little connection, it's tough. So let me tell you guys a story about Jessica Cruz. I'm sure you guys have heard this before. Jessie Quick. Yes, Pokey. Yes, that's who. Thank you for bringing me back to what I was trying to say with the Flash. I went off on a tangent. There's no female Flash, but there is Jessie Quick. Yeah, my Ghetto Blaster in the back. Yo, I love music so much. And today was such an epiphany for me and my auntie. So I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I'm in my hometown. I grew up here. I was born in Winnipeg in 1985. I moved to Toronto about 2007. So I haven't been back for an extended period of time for a very long time. It's for multiple reasons. One of them being that my mom, long story short, cheated on my dad while my grandfather was dying of Alzheimer's in the hospital. It was a horrible situation. I was graduating from university at the time. I didn't stay for convocation because I was just traumatized. My boyfriend broke up with me. Yeah, it was bad. So I ran away to Toronto and I created a new identity. And ultimately, that's why I dyed my hair platinum blonde. That's why I really I just tried out different identities. I'll put it that way. When I first moved out to Toronto, I actually used to be a go-go dancer at the government. I danced for David Guetta, Will.i.am hit on me once, actually. And it was funny. I didn't know who he was. I'm like, why are you talking to me? And my friend Ginger's like, that's Will.i.am. I'm like, I don't care. Tell me how before your stream I got a video talking about Kyle Rayner. Wow, it's you. You know what that is? It's Jesus. What a great name. Barry's daughter, Nora Allen, was a speedster. I love Barry and Iris. I'm going to be actually dressing up my hubby as Barry Allen, and I'll be Iris. There's some great stories with the Flash. I've actually read you guys a few from Grant Morrison that have to do with the human race, the human actual race, where the Flash is in this cosmic race where there's cosmic entities that are gambling with the lives of humanity. And so Flash has to keep running to keep, I guess, like to keep humanity alive. And then they come up with an idea that all of humanity, if everyone runs at the same time, collectively, we can win this thing. So there's a lot of like tells to all that. So let me put my gloves on and let's get started with my storytelling. I don't have a comic book with me today, so you guys are going to have to go with my faulty memory. So, but I do want to talk to you guys about Green Lantern lore from a perspective of origin stories and actually how important Green Lantern is to this. Now, how funny is it that Green Lantern's not usually involved in, like, so you see here, like, you got Aquaman, like most of the Justice League, when you think about the Justice League, even the one with Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman, Henry Cavill, Aquaman, Jason Momoa, there's no Green Lantern in that mix. You had like a separate Green Lantern thing. And it's typically because the Green Lanterns themselves are already like a team. They're the core. They don't, Hal Jordan is like, why do I need to join the Justice League? I already have a team. So they don't, because they have their own mandate. Now, there's some problems with that too, right? Just as with all organizations or institutions sometimes, right? Lost Lion Art. Thank you for the Go Populars. Oh, the lions. Oh, you guys are all here there. So, you guys, who's your favorite Green Lantern besides me? Drop it in the chat. I think that tells me a lot. And also, do you have a favorite color of lanterns? For me, I actually really love the star sapphires, and they represent love. So let's go into all the different lanterns, and then we're going to talk about Jessica Cruz, and then we're going to talk about how the lanterns are very important in the overall cosmology of things, especially even when it comes to Doomsday Clock. So I have Watchmen with me right now. I didn't have the right comic book. I wanted to read Doomsday Clock, but I didn't have a chance to go to the library and take it out before coming to Winnipeg. Also, too, I was like uncertain if I should bring it because I'm like, what if I need to return it and I'm here? What do I do? I guess Kyle Rayner. I do like Kyle Rayner. Kyle Rayner is also an illustrator, right? So there's something cool there about like you have a comic book artist who is also a hero, but the Green Lanterns, right? Their power stems from the ability to have imagination. Hey, Gwen. Josie. Well, I'm feeling good. I hope that I don't start showing just yet. I still have some things to do. They did his girlfriend real bad. Yo, a casual gamer. They sure did. And there's an interesting thing with Carol, right? If you're not familiar with the star sapphires, the ring that the star sapphires carry, they're violet, right? It's funny how they're called star sapphire, and star sapphire is actually a gemstone. If you look it up, my hubby, his family actually works in like jewelry. He's kind of estranged. That's a whole other story. That's not my story to tell, but he was just telling me about like star sapphires being a very unique gemstone. In the Green Lantern lore, the star sapphires represent the emotion of love. It's an interesting thing. Would I, if I was showing baby bump? Really? Oh, that's funny. You know what though? Actually, I'll agree with you, Pokey. There's something really cute about like little petite girls with like the cute little bump, and that's the only thing that's showing, and you can't even tell they're pregnant until they like move to the side. I've had a few girlfriends who are like that. That's fun. Interesting, Pokey. I think that's like, I mean, I guess it's proof that you're fertile. Maybe that's why it's attractive. Okay, so let me talk about Jessica Cruz before I go off on a whole tangent, and then I have a surprise for you guys at the end. I won't reveal that yet. So Jessica Cruz, she comes from, well, she's in the DC universe. She is a Green Lantern. It's funny because there's a commentary about how this sector of the galaxy has so many Green Lanterns, right? Hal Jordan is my favorite Green Lantern. The reason for that is I just have a thing for certain archetypes or certain individuals who are able to like carry a certain I don't want to say bravado, but you're gonna have to be a little like, the story with Hal Jordan is this. His father was a fighter pilot and he died flying. So that in mind, Hal Jordan went out and became what? A pilot. And so it's been said that every time he steps into a cockpit, he feels immense fear, right? So it's that, right? Being able to overcome fear with the force of will. And I do relate to that. I was talking to my sister actually, because she was in Toronto for a wedding, an Indian wedding. And Indian weddings last like 5 days. And she was part of like the core group. So she had to wear like 3 dresses and she's kind of a tomboy. She was very uncomfortable with the whole situation. So I was like, don't worry, I will come over. I'll bring my makeup. I will do your makeup. I will help you get ready. I love all doing that kind of stuff. And she was like letting me know, she's like, after all these years, I still get social anxiety, even though these are all my friends and I love them. And I'm like, yeah, me too, Nursa. Me too. I am always stressed. I'm a very, when I was growing, I am still very shy naturally. So doing this with you guys, performing, all of that stuff has been a lot of like just facing fear and realizing that you can't be afraid forever, right? Just to quote like Dune, right? I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total oblivion. I will face my fear. I will allow that fear to pass over me and through me. And once that fear is gone, only I will remain, right? So this idea that a wave crashing over you, how you, hey Spawn, how are you? And Foxy the Fallen, it's been a moment. How are you, Foxy? I hope you're good. So Jessica, what have a great question. So, fighting evil by moonlight, that's what I've been up to. What if it's not fair and just overthinking into a state of catatonia? You know what, Lost Lion Art, I have a theory. Those of you who are it's like high intellect, high intelligence also comes with it high anxiety. Because you're going to be, it's like a lot of the mental power, right? Cortana in Halo, she talks about rampancy, right? How her as an AI, she can only live for 8 years. And the way that the AI dies is that she's like, we literally think ourselves to death. And it's this concept of like, those of you who are air signs, if you are a Gemini, if you are an Aquarius, or if you're a Libra, very, very mental, right? And so you can also be in this state of like, oh, I already did that because I thought about it, right? Or I've already considered all these 8 million different scenarios in different timelines, and I've already lived them out in my head 5 million times. So it can cause anxiety when we can think about all the possible ways things can go wrong. And, things can go wrong, but things can also go very right. My degree, I got a degree that was like, I don't know why I got it. I know why I got it now, actually. I have a double honors degree in English, literature, and psychology. And I did my thesis in psychology, in social psychology, and I did it on inter and intra racial relationships. So I did like a whole like study about people who dated within their race and people who dated outside of their race. Because I'm interracial, right? My dad is South African, my mom's Filipino. So when you're an individual who is accumulation of both of those things, some people are like, oh, you're Asian, but I'm like, yes, but I am also like a whole half of me is African. So to say that I'm just Asian is to negate a whole side of me, even though I don't necessarily look like it. So that's a big tell I find I've taken that for my interactions with most people, right? That we only see what people allow us to see, right? And we can't assume that we know the whole story. Like, how could you? Like, I don't even know the whole story about myself half the time. So sometimes you make these assumptions and be like, oh, I know that she's like this, and I know that he's like that. I'm like, do you? Like, and why are you gossiping? So like, who cares? Like, I hate gossip so much, you guys. It's such a shadow thing that girls need to get in check. I will not tolerate it. If people want to talk about other people to me, I'm like, can you not? Because I don't want to hear it. And I don't want to have to keep a secret that you are talking about someone behind that I love, I care about behind their back, and then thinking that I'm okay with it. Because I'm not. Right? I don't do that. I don't talk behind people's backs. I don't spread rumors or secrets or any of those kinds of things. But here's my fallacy. I assumed other people wouldn't do that either, but they did. And I've been hurt. And so that being said, you can't let things like that make you bitter, right? Like to quote Lauryn Hill, don't be a hard rock when you really are a gem, baby girl, right? Don't let that make you something that you're not. So I've had to do a lot of like reconfiguration, coming back to myself, all that kind of fun stuff. But through reading comic books with you guys, through revisiting stories of my childhood that really meant a lot to me, I've rediscovered who I really am. And I hope that I can help you guys do the same. This is a really dense reality, generally speaking. If we think about the Green Lantern lore, the one thing I really, really love about the fact that Superman, the latest movie, included the Green Lanterns is that it finally, in a live action movie, expanded the DC universe to be cosmic, right? So I would, Josie, yeah. Well, Green Lantern, like the ring chooses you as much as you prove to be worthy of it, right? So let's go back to Jessica Cruz's origin story. A lot of people relate to Jessica Cruz, including myself, because she struggles with PTSD and anxiety because she's final girl, right? Like imagine like Sidney Prescott, if Sidney Prescott from Scream got a Green Lantern ring, right? Because in the end, you have to fight back. No longer am I going to be a victim. I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm not afraid anymore, right? So what happened to Jessica was that her and her friends went on a camping trip. While on this camping trip, they accidentally become witnesses to a bunch of mobsters getting rid of a body. You know, like Goodfellas or anything, what they do in like the field or like the concrete boots, or like they're getting rid of some guy. So the mobsters see Jessica and her friends, watch, like they see them seeing them, right? So no witnesses when you're doing sketchy shit like that, right? Vipin, yes, this radio is from the 2000s. Also, you know what else I have? Look at this. Look at this TV. Hey! I have a lot of old tech, right? Just because my dad is a comp sci prof. I have a lot of like random technology, like floppy disks. I have a whole bunch of them. I'm like, how am I gonna get anything off of these? Yeah, my old TV, right? And it's funny, my dad still watches, like, it's black and white too as well. And the knob on the second part doesn't even really work. But my dad's the type of person who, like, he won't throw anything out until it's, like, literally not working, like, beyond its time kind of thing. So back to Jessica Cruz. Her and her friends see these mobster guys dispose of the body. They kill Jessica's friends. Jessica, for some manages to somehow escape the whole situation. I forget if it's like playing dead or she gets out of the situation. However, she has now witnessed two horrific situations, one being the mobsters getting rid of a body and that her friends basically being killed right in front of her. She goes into a state of PTSD and refuses to leave the house. Now, at this point, the ring of Volthoom, which is a ring of fear, is attracted to her state of like fear and pain and grief and anxiety, and it comes to her. And so Jessica Cruz ends up having the ring of Volthoom. Now, there are a few things that happen after this situation. It's like one of those things where you go through this arc of like becoming who you are, right? So Jessica eventually, with the ring of Volthoom, I think she sacrifices herself to save Flash. And in that selfless sacrifice, the ring of Volthoom converts into a Green Lantern ring. And I have to find that whole story because it's a good one to probably read live. Jessica Cruz tends to be, in my comic books, like a side character with her partner, Simon Baz. She works like, it's because remember, the Green Lantern Corps are like space police, which is like why the new Lantern movie, I think, is going to be like that. I'm excited for it, actually. I'm excited for them to go down there and like look at the camaraderie of like the lanterns as a whole and how they work with each other. So the Green Lanterns, the ones I know are these. And I'll explain what I like about each one of them as I go. So Jessica Cruz, first of all, I love her as a Green Lantern. A, she's the first female Green Lantern of this sector. B, she's also, she is very honest about the fact that although she is now a Green Lantern, although she has, faced her fear, converted Volthoom into willpower, right? She still says like every single day is a struggle. Every single day, it's still effort to wake up in the morning and go out there and do your thing, right? And this is something that she shares with characters like Batgirl, with Supergirl, where you end up with this voice in your head being like, do you think that you're worthy of this? Who are you to think that you can be a hero? And so that little voice in your head, tell that voice to shut the F up. It doesn't know what it's talking about. Juan Hernandez. Oh, do you have a Lego minifigure of her? Can you please take a picture of that and send it to me? I would love to see that. I love Lego too, by the way. That was part of the New 52, but that was a great story arc. New 52 is actually older than I thought it was, actually. The Casual Gamer, we're going to do a show one day where we go through DC timeline continuity, or lack of continuity, and we can kind of like map out the different major events as they happen in different universes. I do have an Instagram. I'm not very good on it. I'm mostly on here and on YouTube. So, and I'm organizing a lot more stuff. So I'm hopefully going to have much more succinct content for you guys and less of like all over the place. Okay, so Jessica Cruz, love her. Hal Jordan, he actually inherits a ring. I read you guys a story by Alan Moore where, oh my goodness, who is the lantern that dies and Hal Jordan gets the ring? He's friends with Sinestro. Oh my gosh, they're of the same race. They're from the same planet. They're pink. Oh my goodness. John McNair, yes, in Blackest Day and Brightest Night. Let no evil escape my sight. That's right. I would love it if Hal was my baby daddy. Hal can get it whenever he wants. But Hal's like I would call Hal like a cowboy of space. Like he needs the wild open spaces and to be free to explore, right? Earth will always be home, but he gets stir crazy being home. He needs to be the explorer, reaching out to new frontiers. He's also like the renegade of the Green Lantern Corps, because remember, they're a regimented team. They're a corps, right? So Hal Jordan I love because he's like, the renegade, wild card, maverick kind of situation. Besides that movie, do you mean Jacob Hunter, the Superman movie? Is that what you mean in terms of not being familiar with Green Lantern? I do think the animated shows and movies do Green Lantern pretty decently. And how interesting is it? I was talking to Guy Gardner, is another Green Lantern. We were going to do a little co-hosting today, but we'll do that another day. But the voice of Hal Jordan, which is, oh my gosh, Nathan Fillion. He's also who plays Guy Gardner in the live action movie. How interesting is that? It's kind of funny. The Ryan Reynolds movie, maybe. Okay, I did not like that movie. You know what? One thing I did like about that movie, Mark Strong as Sinestro was pretty good. He looked like, because think about like the pink skin and stuff. That could have looked kind of cheesy and bad, but he actually looked pretty decent. You know what looked worse? his mask, the CGI mask. I don't know why you couldn't just use face paint. That would have looked better. Like, use proper makeup, use like prosthetic or something to do like a 3D mask and stuff. Like, I don't know why they did the CG mask. Yes, Mark Strong was perfect. I love Mark Strong though too. They cast him as oh my gosh, the bad guy in Shazam. I don't think that was a good casting. Savannah, Dr. Savannah. I like Mark Strong generally too. He's got that. But yeah, him as Sinestro is a good one because Sinestro is misunderstood as well. So Sinestro was best friends with, oh my gosh, what is his name? Is it like Akib Sabur? I don't know. He's one of them crash lands on Earth and dies, and Hal Jordan inherits that Green Lantern ring. I remember talking to Guy Gardner, and he was saying that Guy Gardner was actually supposed to get that ring. I forget how that works too, but hey. So Hal Jordan's that renegade. He's kind of like, I guess the first representative from Earth to hold the Green Lantern ring. So that's something. Next we have like Guy Gardner. He is like, I call him like the Han Solo of the Green Lanterns. He kind of does all like, he's like that, what do you want to call it? I wanted to say space pirate, but that's not the right word. Like, he's not opposed to like working with unsavory characters in order to get the job done. Like, he'll do the core's dirty work kind of thing. Abin Sur, thank you, Brandon. I love Abin Sur too. So there's a story, actually, you guys can get it on my YouTube, by Alan Moore, where Abin Sur goes to a planet and he deals with these like demon god things, and they tell him a prophecy. They tell him, hey, Abin Sur, guess what? One day you're going to die, and your predecessor, the one who will come after you, will be the most legendary Green Lantern to exist. And then they ask him, like, doesn't that bother you? And Abin Sur is like, no, why would that bother me? And that's the kind of attitude to have. It's not about the credit. It's not about being, I am the best Green Lantern, right? It's more about being worthy and doing a good job at what you're called here to do, right? And so I think, so there's, Abin Sur, I think, also has a daughter. I have to double check on that, who's falls in love with Sinestro. I have to double check on all of that kind of stuff. Ilrevs, yeah. When Sinestro got the Green Lanterns to kill, I was, oh my gosh, yeah. So, okay, I'm not as familiar with that whole storyline. There's a few cosmic ones. I've also read, you guys, like, I think the New Gods and stuff as well, but I wanted to go through all the Green Lanterns. I should rank them, right? So order of favorite. So Jessica Cruz, then Hal Jordan, then I wouldn't put Guy Gardner next. You know what I would put next? I would put Kyle Rayner next. I love Kyle Rayner a lot. He actually ends up holding the White Lantern ring as well. And he ends up dating Carol, who is a Star Sapphire, after she dates Hal Jordan. And I've had like read comic books where like Hal and Kyle talk and like it's okay. It's kind of an interesting thing. And also the Star Sapphires can be a little nuts, and I'll get into that in just a second. So Kyle Rayner, he's also an illustrator. He's a comic book, he draws, right? And remember, the Green Lantern rings, it's as powerful as your imagination. And so it's the ability to, when you come across a problem, depending on your consciousness, your ideas, the ring will bring that into form. It'll form a construct based on it, right? So let's say you want to attack a bad guy, right? There are many ways that you can do this. But each Green Lantern, based on their own ideas, their imagination world, is going to come at it a different way, which is why you would work in a team, right? Because then each of you can tackle it differently, right? Thanks, Jacob Hunter. I hope so. I want to bring some... People think comic books are so frivolous, right? Like, I was talking to my auntie earlier today, and she's an English teacher from Australia. Her and her uncle are in the house with me because it was my granny's 100th birthday over the weekend. So we've been doing a lot of celebrations for that, and they came over from Australia. My uncle and auntie came over, and they're in the house to like, we're all like celebrating. And of course there's Christmas, my sister's coming, my cousin. So it's a lot of like family stuff. I'm not quite used to it because remember I moved out to Toronto for a long time, and it's just been like me, my hubby, and my dog for a long time, right? So coming back has been it's been a little overwhelming, so that's why my timing for all these things have been a little bit off. Too much, Gwen saying 100%. It's a lot of family time. It's not going to really let up anytime soon because Christmas hasn't even started yet, right? My friend teaches the comic book class at, wow, Ilrev, that's so cool. I can't believe that that's actually a class. I would take that in a heartbeat because my vocabulary has increased so much since reading comic books again. And remember, comic books are mostly dialogue, right? Because when you're reading a book, the author has to write out the whole scene. And typically I find that part of most books kind of boring. You know, like Game of Thrones, if you've ever read the books like A Song of Ice and Fire that they were based on, I don't really like how, I forget the author's name right now off the top of my head. I don't really like how he writes. I like C.S. Lewis. I loved Narnia. I was a big fan of Narnia, but it's all to say each author has their way of how they go about telling a story. And some people like to spend way too much time, in my opinion, on like set and setting. But some people love it. Like, I don't need to know like how many different crevices the table has or like what, like the smell of whatever that was like. So some things make sense, like certain descriptives. I prefer it being illustrated. And then the dialogue can be what has writing with it. But that's just my preference. And that's why I do like comic books as a way of ingesting my stories, right? My hubby likes movies, right? So he's so funny. Whenever I do a comic book read, he'll always manage to find something live action that will tie in beautifully. Because remember, the medium is part of what the message is. Whether or not you are telling a story through a movie versus like episodic, like a TV show, versus live action theater, versus just audio, versus a book. These are all different mediums and you can tell the same story, but how that's going to hit you is going to be different based on that medium. Also, it's also dependent on what you would prefer to have your stories gifted to you, right? It should be something enjoyable, in my opinion. And you are under no obligation. Like for me, like with a movie, if I watch the movie and it's like really not going anywhere and I'm like not feeling it, I'll tell them like, let's just stop. I'm not gonna like go to the end of this. It's like my time is too precious. I'm just gonna watch the same movie that I actually love again. I'd rather do that. So I'm always open to giving things a chance, but it's also like a matter of also having some discernment when you feel like, oh, I'm not vibing with it. That's cool, right? It also doesn't mean you have to hate on it, right? Like, for example, I did not like Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern, but at the same time, I'm thankful that he was brought to life and there were good things about that movie. So it doesn't really do anything by being like a hater towards things that aren't necessarily matching up to your expectations of things, right? I'll always hope for it to be done in a certain level of respect for the characters and a certain level of respect for what the lore is, because if you don't do that, then what's the point? Then just make a whole new character up then if you're not going to respect the source material. Just make a new character. Not a big deal. Don't trample on all of our memories and nostalgia of my childhood just because you're trying to like get views or make money and all that kind of stuff, you know? So I'm hopeful the Lantern show is going to be good. I'm hopeful the Supergirl movie is amazing. I'm hopeful all these things do the source material justice, because these stories, I do think, hold a lot of importance for what we're going through in the world today. And that sounds pretty ballsy, but I don't think I'm wrong. I was talking to my auntie today, and I've gone through a lot of loss in the last few years. I've lost a lot of people, to death. But I also have a very deep, I don't know what you want to call it, a spiritual connection to all the universe. And I know in my heart of hearts, like, death is not the end, right? We live on, we are eternal beings. We're just in this one perspective. It's like a comic book, right? You can stay right here. You can flip to the beginning. You can go to the end. You can stop, right? And also, too, sometimes when we're in a turning of an ages kind of situation, before you can begin a new book, you must end the one you're reading, you know? So it's kind of like you have to close or end something in order for you to have a proper beginning. Otherwise, we end up with this like mess. And that's where life does require death to work. It's why like fertilizer and things, like we have the cycle of life, and we are very uncomfortable with certain topics as a society, and which is why comic books, these fantastical tales, we can talk about things that are very difficult to talk about in a way that we don't get so triggered, right? This isn't real, right? To quote Scarface, I tell the truth even when I lie. Does my family watch your show? You know, my some do, some don't. Like a lot of my family doesn't get it. They've never gotten me. I've always been such a strange little girl. I've always loved things that are just like strange and odd and different, and I actually relish on liking or picking out things that are unique or different. I never like liking what other people like, right? I typically don't like, it's actually like a negative to me when everyone thinks this guy is hot. I'm like, I like this guy. They're like, oh, why? I'm like, I don't know. If you don't, it doesn't matter, right? Better for me. Am I a core gamer or more casual? I play D&D every Thursday with a beautiful group of people. And so that today, well, I mean, it's technically Friday now, right? But today, Thursday, was my D&D day, and we went a little bit late because next week is Christmas and the Thursday will fall on Christmas, and so it makes it hard. But so I would consider myself a gamer. Yeah, I'm a gamer. I love also playing Halo. I've played Halo 1 to 4, that storyline, multiple times. I also love Borderlands 3, and Baldur's Gate 3. So, do I play single player games? You know what's, for me, gaming for me has always been very social. So I grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, right? So for me, it's all about the LAN parties in the basement. You have like 2 Xboxes connected together, and so like 8 of you get to play in like Halo 2. I have really fond memories of that. So for me, like gaming has always been social, but like in real life. So this concept of connecting to the internet in order to play a game is such like a, what, why? Why do I have to be connected to the net in order for me just to play a game that like, and also to like, I have an Xbox, so you have Game Pass, and there's pros and cons to that, right? But this concept of like, what happened to having, you know, the cons, like you own the game, or like, you know, you own the comic book, that it's like, this is mine forever as long as I maintain it, right? Bring it, yeah, you bring your Xbox to another person's house and you'll connect them together, and then you have like snacks and drinks, and like you're all in the basement, and it's just you're at your friend's house to like, you'll crash there, and you're there till like the early morning. You'll get McDonald's in the morning together. So fun. I really do empathize. Like my niece, she's 23, I think 22, and I was about 23 when I first moved to Toronto with 2 suitcases and no idea what the heck I was going to do, but I figured it out. I met my husband, I built a whole life, and now I'm integrating those parts of myself together, right? So when it comes to, I'm going to bring this all back, 30 hours game with crazy, yeah, game genies. Oh my goodness, I'm not familiar, Jacob Hunter. LAN parties, yeah, like you connect your Xboxes together. I also went to a university where we used to have like gaming tournaments in like the main, like you could do gaming tournaments. I never did that. I get very stressed out when people are watching me too intensely when I game. Late 80s and 90s. That might be a little bit before my time. Tucci nerd. I was born in 85. So I only really got into gaming with like the N64. My bestie had a Super Nintendo, so I used to love playing like wrestling. Yeah, the WWF like wrestling stuff and WCW, as well as like the Avengers game and like, you know, any of those side scrollers. I just Double Dragon, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. I loved all of those games. And of course Mario Party, Mario Kart, Mario Tennis. I love games in general, because I relate reality to a game. It's just my model for it. And if we think about games as a more interactive way to be in the story as opposed to you observing it, you're now in it, which is why I really love D&D, because one of the party members put it really well. It's a collaborative storytelling, right? Oh, I miss the Halo days too. You know what? The engine that the newest games have a new engine, right? And I can feel the difference in the engine. My sister used to always tease me. She's like, I hate Halo. Master Chief, you can't make him sprint. I'm like, because Master Chief doesn't need to run. He's like Jason. He just kind of like jumps really far and then walks really fast. Unreal Engine, yes. So how old was I in 2002? So I graduated grade 8 in 1999. And then 2000, I was in grade 9. So 2002, I would have been 16, 17 or so. Yes. One of my really good friends, Cody, he died in a car accident in 2001. Rest in peace, Cody. Love you. Like all these old memories have been coming back to me lately just because, you know, when you go back, it can be bittersweet, right? Even when you think of happy memories, you also think of, you know, people who aren't here anymore, right? And you just miss them. That's all. So Cody died when he was 16, when I was 16. So it was 2001. So I think 2002, I'd be 17. So you're just a newborn baby in 2002. Aw, I love you babies. I love you babies. Also, too, you guys, there's this element, too, of passing the torch of stories, right? Like us as gamers of, like, the 80s and 90s. I don't know if we've done a very good job of, like, I don't know, I guess a lot of us got traumatized, too. That makes it hard to kind of be a mentor to the next generation. Jacob Hunter, go to sleep. Oh, yeah, have a good sleep. I'm going to not go on for much longer. I just wanted to unveil something really fun I wanted to do with you guys, which is this. Does this look familiar? Oh my gosh, let me flip it. Let me flip it. It's Star Wars trivia. And I know Star Wars is not DC, but it's in the cosmic universe. So bringing this back to the lanterns, the other lanterns that exist besides green are red, which is rage or anger. There's yellow, which is fear. There's blue, which is hope. There's indigo, which is compassion. And then star sapphire, I told you guys, is love. There's also white and black, where white is supposed to represent life and black is supposed to represent death. Now, when they talk about Blackest Night is actually a comic book itself. It's actually something that's prophesized as being where all the lanterns would go into a war against each other, and it would cause the blackest night. However, what happens after Blackest Night? Brightest day. Yes! Oh my gosh, Empire! That was so synchronistic. I love that. It was amazing. Because, you know, it's always darkest before the dawn, right? I've read that story here before, but TikTok gets weird sometimes with some of my comic book reads, right? Because it can't tell the difference if I'm acting or if I'm reading comic book dialogue or not. So sometimes I will say things in character in the comic book, and TikTok will be like, "Oh, are you inciting violence?" I'm like, no, I'm acting as Lex Luthor, or I'm doing a voice, I'm playing, right? So the nuance of all that, I feel like we've gotten so confused. There's so much distraction, there's so much noise, there's so much stuff vying for our attention one way or the other. It can be really hard to get focused. Change to 21 plus will fix that timing though. Yeah, I know the timing is great. I'm like got full body chills because of it. So these different lanterns, they all represent different emotions, right? And so in the DC universe, at the beginning of all things, there is a group called the Guardians, not to be confused with Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, but they're like blue guys. They have like big blue heads. They're the Guardians, and they're known as the bosses of the Green Lanterns. There's a whole storyline along the lines of when the cosmology of how the DC universe was born, and it gets into it in Crisis on Infinite Earths, which I read you guys yesterday, where you have, you know, the monitors, the anti-monitors, this concept of balance in the universe and agents of those kinds of things, right? Who has the right to tell people what's right or wrong, right? It's kind of one of those things. Like, I've read the very first comic book I actually read live to you guys was a series called Killers of Krypton, where Supergirl goes to the Green Lanterns to get information on who truly killed Krypton, as it's like a cosmic conspiracy, and them thinking it was just a natural disaster as to why Krypton is gone is not true. In fact, it was like an inside job. And Kara asks Hal, saying, what would you do if your bosses turned out to be corrupt? Would you side with, you know, what's right? Or are you going to go with what your boss wants? And I think many of us have been in this situation before, right? Where let's say you're working a job and it's just a paycheck, but then that job asks you to do something unethical, and then you have to, like, what do? Right? Do you stand up for yourself and potentially get fired, or do you just have integrity and do it, right? And so in this case, I didn't ever get to read the conclusion, but Supergirl goes to Mogo, and Mogo is a sentient planet. So Mogo itself, I actually read you guys a comic book too, where like Mogo gets not destroyed but attacked severely. And Hal has such a wonderful relationship with Mogo. Mogo's a male, I think, not a female like our Earth, but Mogo has a Green Lantern ring too. Like, Mogo has like this little branch, and Hal Jordan's like, all right, big guy, I got you your ring back, powered up and everything. So remember, the lantern rings also need to be charged as well. And that's why Abin Sur dies, because something about, like, he doesn't charge his ring, or he does something else with it. Like, I also read you guys a story where Hal Jordan, he does this like test fighter pilot thing. He, like, one of his old buddies is like, hey, do you want to test out this fighter jet? He's like, cool. I'm gonna leave my Green Lantern ring at home because I want to do this like straight. I don't want to have to depend on like magic powers, I guess, right? So he leaves his ring at home. And the ring's like, because the ring has like a consciousness too as well, right? And the ring's like, I don't approve of this idea, Hal. And so he's like, but he takes the jet, and the jet ends up like going through a portal, and he ends up in like another dimension without his lantern ring. And so he's like, God damn it. Should have brought it. Let's see here. Ilrev, have you listened to the D&D podcast, Seduce the Dry? I haven't listened to that podcast. That name sounds awesome, though, by the way. I would watch it. I'll watch it. I love D&D. I love D&D so much. And more the concept of it, right? It's the idea of playing a story. Also, it would be cool if DC had a bit more of like what Marvel did, where they had like their own like RPG kind of game based on the characters. Okay, so is there a learning curve for D&D? Am I I a Tim Hortons fan? First, I'll answer that first one. Sahil, I feel like it's been a while since I've seen you, if you're the same Sahil from before. Do I like Tim Hortons? Yes and no. I have certain orders from Tim Hortons that are like guilty pleasures for me, like the French vanilla that they have. I love it. But it's also like super sugary and bad for you. But I'll have it post-workout. I also like Timbits in moderation, but I only like chocolate Timbits and birthday cake Timbits. Every other Timbit is dead to me. I don't like it. Nori, hi. DC Lanterns and Star Wars trivia, comment your favorite. Oh my, that's the AI commentary. Yes, so it's already prefacing that I'm going to get to this. So I didn't want to be on too late because I was supposed to be on earlier, but I did want to show you guys this. This is Return of the Jedi quiz quest. And these different, like, they give you little questions. How to play Return of the Jedi quiz quest. On each question card, you'll find 3 questions about the film and its characters. Actually, these are actually intense questions. I don't even remember. I have to do a Princess Leia cosplay for this, but this will be coming up. Want to do more content with you guys, or it's more engaging. We can do like fun quiz questions, and we can do also like more gaming live. So it'd be, and to your point, it's kind of funny that you mentioned that, Sahil, because I'm in my hometown of Winnipeg right now, right? So I'm doing a lot of healing as it comes to my relationships with relatives, but I'm close to my dad, and also like I've lost 2 uncles in the last 2 years. One of them, because I'm half Filipino, right? This story is actually kind of, I hope by me telling it I'm not going to get restricted on YouTube, but my uncle Roberto, in 2002, outside of his home in the Philippines, he was shot in front of his daughter and his wife. The theory is that, because my uncle used to be a cop in the Philippines, and he was a good cop, and because of corruption in the ranks, there was, I think the way the story goes is that there was a guy that he refused to go easy on for something, but he was friends with someone else, but he refused to go along with it. But that's just a theory. The case still remains open, and we still don't know who actually killed him. So that's pretty awful. The other thing that happened was my other uncle on my dad's side passed recently, and that's been hard too. So those tragedies have brought me closer to my other family members. I'm super, super tight with my little sister. Me and my sister are like telepathically connected. I can feel when she needs me or she is in trouble or that kind of stuff. So I tend to have that connection with people I'm very close with. I can feel you. And if you need me, I'll come get you. I've always been that friend who, especially in Winnipeg, right, where we don't have transit, we didn't have these kinds of things, so you needed to have a designated driver when you go out, right? Or if friends of mine, let's say you're out and you're stranded, I used to drive a big Aerostar van, so I'm like, listen, doesn't matter what time of the night, if you're stranded somewhere, don't drive drunk, call me, I will come get you. And a lot of that was because of my friend Cody, who died because a drunk driver hit him with his truck, right? Drove him off the road, and that was the end of that. So it can all happen. It can all end in a flash. So, we just make the most of it. We're only here for a very short time. So life's too short for us to get caught up in certain things. And I'm saying that as advice to myself too, as someone who gets very melancholy with certain things and gets nostalgic and I cry easy. Yeah, it's such a short time. It's such a flash. It's a ride. So make it a good one. Make it a great story, right? Make it something that, the Lord will ask me what I did with my life, and I will say I spent it with you, Whitney Houston. You know what I mean? So reframing, I guess, what we mean by what it means to live a good life, and only you get to define that, right? Not even me. When I used to personal train people, I'd tell them, at the end of the day, it's your body. I don't let anyone, gurus or even me, tell you to do something if you feel in your heart of hearts it doesn't feel right, doesn't feel good, right? So just tell me. There's always a way around. There's always another option. I refuse to believe there's only just one set way to do anything. Oh, of course. I love third person. Hey, Landon, how's it going? Oh, thanks, Rai Rai. Okay, so I'm going to end quite soon. Always a right and a wrong. Yeah, and silver linings, right? And, you know, just like a book, just like a story, if you were to end the book right in the middle where the conflict gets really crazy, like Lord of the Rings, my favorite movie is The Two Towers. My favorite part is when, they're in like Helm's Deep and all seems lost. And at the last moment, Gandalf appears with the backup on his white horse. So, for all of us who are here on this realm, like being like, oh my gosh, this is so hard right now. Trust me, backup is coming. Just hold on, right? Because then the eagles are there, the white horses, the unicorns, the fucking dragons. It's over when we say it is, right? So a lot of us have just been really traumatized into forgetting who you are, right? Disassociating, right? I'm not going to live in this reality. I'm just going to go here. I'm going to medicate with this, that, and the other thing and not be here, right? I can empathize with that. But I also have a message from the universe itself that she needs you. The earth needs you, rather, I should say that. The universe is all of us, right? But earth as a consciousness is female or a woman, however you want to look at it. Like Father Time, Mother Earth. But these are all conceptual, right? You within yourself have both a masculine and feminine. It's up to you what you want to express. So, and what other people think of you is none of your business. That's what I say. I'm like, oh, you cannot believe in unicorns all you want. That doesn't bother me any. I can still believe in them, right? Right? And if those who don't believe in magic will never find it. So it's really up to you. So when people come and you're like, why are you doing that way? I'm like, your life must really be sucky. I feel bad for you because I live my life from a place of doing my younger self justice and fulfilling the promises I made to myself when I was younger, that I would do all the things that I'm doing now when I was grown up, right? And no one could tell me what to do anymore, right? Because when you're a kid, you are dependent on your parents and others to feed you, clothe you, do all that kind of stuff. But when you finally become yourself, independent, you and the responsibility of that, it's kind of a big thing, right? I believe in you. I do too, Gwen Stacy. I sure do. I believe in unicorns. And I do, it's so funny. I went back to my old university, which is the University of Manitoba here, where I graduated. And I went back to St. Paul's College because my dad, even though he's retired, he still has an office there because he's on building committees and stuff. And that's where I got my gym membership. And I was kind of choked today that the gym was had a snow day. I'm like, listen, Winnipeg, what happened? Are you getting soft, Winnipeg? I came all the way out here and I can't even get into the gym. But in St. Paul's College, I just noticed that they had a whole bunch of the unicorn tapestries, and I was like, whoa, what a weird thing. Because unicorns aren't real, dragons aren't real, but then why do we have these stories that exist, right? Unicorns are probably as real as any story that we have in myth. They're as real to me as the politicians I see on TV. I don't know who they are. I know more about people give so much of their attention away to things that don't matter, when really you should pay more attention to your friends and family who love you more, right? Than us worrying about celebrities and Taylor Swift. And it's not a bad thing to like these things, right? But just be aware of, to me, my Hal Jordan is my husband, right? So I turn the people that you love in your life into the superheroes that you need. You know what I mean? Even you guys, I encourage all of you guys to really look at the heroes that you love and realize all of those attributes in your favorite characters are really a reflection of you, right? So those of you who really relate to characters like Batman, you're probably individuals that have had to deal with a lot of trauma. A lot of individuals have a really deep dark side that you've had to integrate, a shadow side you've had to deal with, right? Those of you who are really love Superman, he's such an epitome of what it means to be good, right? That moral compass. And Clark and Bruce are so different, but why you love either of those characters or neither of them is more telling about your character than anything else, right? I would love to check out your animations. Are you an animator? So I have a comic book I'm working on. I draw, but I don't consider myself an illustrator by any means. So I'm looking for illustrators to collaborate with. I will pay you. I want to pay everybody. I want to be in a position to be able to make art sustainable again. So that's really why I'm here in Winnipeg too, in my basement too. I'm trying to reconfigure the basement to turn into a recording studio, like a gym recording studio, live studio kind of thing, with the proper green screen wall, and you have the sound cancellation things and all the microphones. And I would love to invite you guys over, right? And you can crash if you need to, that kind of thing. We can have legit house parties again. I'm gonna get some of my old consoles out and set them up on the screens here. So why not? I have a house. So it's just been taking a while. I'm like, wow, I can just build it. I can just make it. If it doesn't already exist, no one's going to do that for me, because no one knows what's exactly in my head other than me, right? So that's what I'm planning on, you guys. Are you a producer? Me too. I'm mainly a producer. I've only come back to my creation thing. Oh my gosh, I could use your help though, because you know how hard it is project managing your own stuff, hitting your own deadlines. Oh my gosh, such a different thing when I get to do it for other people, but for myself, so much harder. Wednesday, so you're so funny. I should go get some sleep. So tomorrow is Friday. I'm actually going to meet up with my friend Laura. We're going to do some yoga, and then we're going to reconnect. She's my initial best friend from my childhood, so that'll be fun. What did I want to leave with you guys? A message. I was going to do Star Wars trivia with you guys, but then I was looking at the trivia questions and I'm like, these are far too difficult. I don't even know the answers to them. But I do want to have some fun, quiz shows or game shows that have to do with superheroes coming up. That would be kind of fun, right? Oh, hi Kenobi. How fitting that you decided to show up, my Jedi friend. Robin, hey. You won't have it. I'm okay with my belly showing, and who knows, there might be babies in my future. There's yes, Robin, there is a new Marvel movie I saw, Doomsday, which confuses me too, because there's Doomsday Clock in the DC world and there's Doomsday in Marvel, but that is Master Yoda indeed. I love Obi-Wan Kenobi is my favorite Star Wars character. So I don't know if you guys have a favorite Star Wars character, but Obi-Wan is mine. When I first watched, the new Star Wars movie, what was that first one called with Rey? I was so convinced that Rey was Obi-Wan's daughter. And I was so choked that she didn't end up being that. I'm like, damn it. In my world, though, I guess she is. No joke on me, no funny stuff. I'm married, but I'm looking for some work if you're ever. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm married too, right? But I'm seriously, but serious tone, you guys. Serious tone. I don't know if you guys feel it, but Hollywood's dying, right? They're really starved of ideas. It's really scary what AI is kind of doing to everything right now. I'm not opposed to technology by any means, but there is a lack of willingness, I find, for people to just go into the dark and not be seen and just practice. Do your work. Don't let anyone see anything till it's ready. But we get so stressed about oh, well, people are going to forget about me if I don't put something out every day, if I don't say something all the time. But you need time to create. You need time to write the damn thing. You need time to paint. You need time to do it. And that doesn't need to always be in front of people. It doesn't always need to be seen by anyone other than like maybe a few close friends that you trust to give you an honest opinion about things, right? It's weird, yeah. Stop motion, that's kind of cool. I love stop motion. But you know what? AI, like, this is where it gets all tough too, right? Because there's AI and there's AI, the marketing term. So I used to be a digital project manager. I worked for many agencies for different clients like Fiat Dodge Chrysler, and I worked for a lot of pharmaceutical companies, as well as I worked for the hospital and KPMG. And so digital project management is like producing, although I did work with a specific producer when I worked on like, you know, for like little, like for drug advertisements, and they show the mechanism of action of how the drug is working. Like you have like, I'm a T cell and I'm a T cell that does this. So we'd have the animators make that story, and then we would have to get voice actors and do all that. So I'd work with the producer in order to do that. But I was a digital project manager. I was more like the actual software implementation of whatever we were doing. Yeah, exactly. Everyone thinks it's the same thing. So there's a difference between like certain tools that make your workflow easier, right? Because I do video editing, right? So if you think about things like generative AI or things like, you know, you're using machine learning in order to do really, really menial tasks like different cuts or like removing, like back at Chrysler, when I used to work for Chrysler, you had to blur out all the nameplates. So we literally had a guy on the team, like that was his whole job. Like what a soul-sucking job to be a creative. Be like, oh, my whole job is doing Photoshop and blurring out the license plates. So you could get now like an AI to do that, and then your more creative people can work on just more creative stuff. But I worry that in general people just get so enamored by buzzwords and jargon, business jargon, that they don't really realize like what it is they're actually trying to do, right? We end up talking about things that don't have meaning anymore. Like when I was at KPMG, I did not know what half of the people actually did. You know, like most people, I just feel like they were just in meetings talking about crap, and I was just like, but what are you doing? Like, it was just very odd. Then again, you know, I'm not working that job, so I just have that perspective from this other side. But I just mean, I find that the biggest issue with AI is that it gives people a false sense that they don't ever have to work through ever being bad at anything, right? Like if you were to write poetry or write a screenplay or like do stop motion, like you were saying there, anything that you plan on doing, if you're just starting out in learning how to do it, you're going to be bad at it. Like a dance class, right? When I'm first learning choreography, it's a freaking hot mess, but you practice and you work on it and it gets better. But people are so, like, we just want that instant gratification. You just want to show off the thing right away, that we don't take the moment, the breath, to like, okay, can this be a little better? Can I tweak this? Can I go back to this? All that kind of stuff, right? I have to correct yes. So I find that there's probably a good place for it, right? Where, you know, if you're trying to convey an idea to your creative team and you're not a great artist and you want to show like an example or a prototype or like a mock-up of something, but I dislike it when people do like an AI prompt and then they're then presenting it like a final image. Like there's an artist I follow, he does AI, but he takes an AI prompt, then he brings it into Procreate, tweaks it, and then does Photoshop to it. So that's a little different than someone being like, oh, I'm just gonna like do one prompt and then take that and put it on merch and just sell a bunch of stuff. There's a huge saturation of that, and I think that a lot of us are almost like fatigued at the amount of like discernment you have to have in order to know what's real and what's not, right? Yes, yeah. So I mean, like just like with anything, right? To wield it with responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility, yo. Yes. I just remembered the story I actually wanted to tell you, which is that I went to a Microsoft conference with my sister when she was here working for Ubisoft, and I was working for, I I forget who I was working for, but we went to the Microsoft conference together, and we went to a session, and the guy was basically saying, he's like, AI is just a marketing term for machine learning. And your AI, all that is only as good as your algorithm and your data set. So people like to use blanket term of like AI, and like they're not all equal, and how you leverage it is really up to the person who is wielding it. Just like a sword doesn't have power on its own, it's up to the person who's able to use that sword effectively, right? So a trained library, that's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. It's but that's the thing in our world right now. No one has any time to have nuance, to ask more questions, to just take the time to be like, oh, am I misreading that? Am I misunderstanding that? Can I get some more clarification, right? Before getting emotionally triggered and reacting, right? Old games had NPCs, no one cares. Yeah, but you know, that's not the same thing as AI, right? I think the biggest issue I have with it is when people, instead of working on their own gifts, you're just gonna let the AI do it, right? If you like, you see AI for lots of things, like, oh, use AI to like use your voice to create a song, or you make like music, for example, a lot of AI music coming out, and you're kind of stealing from other people. Like also too, like if you're saying, oh, paint me something AI in the style of Van Gogh, isn't that stealing from Van Gogh in some regard? Like, shouldn't you look at developing your own style, whatever uniquely that looks like? Like it's that I think is the issue with it. And it's not really up to me to tell people how they want to use it or not. I just think it's just one of those things where you, on your own journey of life, know where your lines are, know where you stand, so that you don't end up in a situation where, yeah, where I've been as well, where like you lose a little part of yourself because I'm just chasing a paycheck on some regard, or I'm just trying to finish a deadline. So who cares, right? But it does matter more than people think. Oh, I love CapCut, Gwen Stacy. You're very good. Yeah, exactly. You know, because even the best created tools, you still need to learn it. Like when I first started D&D, I have a really awesome dungeon master who was very patient in the beginning, but all the mechanics of it, I did a lot of, the reason why I joined the D&D campaign was because I was working on a book and I was doing research to know how to write about it in the story. And then I ended up loving it. And so now I'm in the campaign full time. But I only truly learned how to play by playing it, right? As opposed to me like reading all about it and learning it. I look at it like, oh, you can read all the manuals about how to kiss, but until you kiss someone, you don't, like, what are you going to think in your head? Like, okay, my tongue is going to go here, my lips are going to go. No one's thinking that, right? So, and each person has different sets of lips. So what that kiss is going to look like and how it's going to feel and how long it's going to last. There's no rule book on it. So certain things, you know, so today, I think Friday, I may not be live because I'm going to be out visiting my friend, and we're going to be doing yoga late, and we're going to be reconnecting, and I haven't realistically seen her in real life in like 20 years. So it's going to be lots of crying and reconnecting and all that kind of stuff. So hey, Dark Rider. That's a laugh. So I think I'm gonna tap out now, you guys. I was actually supposed to go live with Guy Gardner. I hope he actually forgives me for that Jessica flaked on it. Well, no, I didn't flake. I showed up. I just was very late. I was taking my time. I also was revisiting old female rap videos. Do you guys remember the song What a Man by Salt and Peppa and On Vogue? Like, what a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man. And like just the verses in there are so good. And like Lisa Left Eye in like Ladies Night, you know that, like, so I feel like that voice of like a female rapper, Foxy Brown, Albie, or like Lil Kim, Lighters Up, that kind, I don't know, like there's I've been trying to teach myself how to rap slowly, like to myself, but I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe I can be like a female rapper. We'll see, because like my singing voice is kind of low, so I'm like, maybe I can like rap it, but we'll see. Oh yes, I'm totally interested in that and all that. I'm also working on getting my ish together. I have an Indiegogo campaign that I've been like taking forever to actually finally launch because I've been trying to create a trailer for it to launch it. But I may launch it and then finish the trailer and add that to the campaign later. We'll see. Oh, you have you? I'm half Filipino, so you know I do hip hop. I have a pretty okay crip walk and dance battles and all that kind of stuff. How fun would it be to do like a cosplay dance battle? Or Soul Train with cosplay characters. Oh my gosh. Or like a dance circle. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh yeah, that's true. I'll tell Guy it's because of being a baby mama. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me as Jessica Cruz, your favorite Green Lantern of this sector. And remember, I'm going to finish off with the oath. In brightest day, in blackest night, let no evil escape my sight, and let all those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me, my superhero friends. I wish you all good fortune on your soul missions in this lifetime. And remember, it takes true courage for you to be exactly you in this cosmic game of life, right? Gwen Stacy, love you too. But remember, you guys, the universe is counting on you, but no pressure, right? I have your back. Till next time, guys, stay super, stay blessed. Love ya. Bye.